Novak Djokovic, winners and losers. There are many winners and losers. And we like nothing more than winners and losers. This is a sports show where you get results. You get to see at the end in the scoreboard who the winner and the loser is. Our metaphorical scoreboard is up and running, Eoin. Who are the winners and losers from the Djokovic?
Yeah, the tentacles of the story have invaded many different areas of public life all around the world, I think it's fair to say. So we'll go through just some of the winners and some of the losers. We couldn't possibly go through them all today. The first winner, the big winner over the last week, is Nigel Farage. And this was an easy win to hand out. He has somehow managed to take a little piece of pie of the story and make it all about himself, and he is therefore a winner in all of this. So Nigel Farage speaking to Eamon Holmes from Novak Djokovic's gaffe on GB News is not something that many of us would have seen coming a couple of months ago, but I think we can already write 2022 off as a batshit crazy year. So let's have a look at him entering the Djokovic trophy room yesterday and have a listen to some of the other people in the room.
This is pretty amazing.
Hi, how are you? Welcome to the party.
Yeah, I know you. You can hear a woman say in the background, I know you. You're the guy who says Chucky Garlaw on Cameo. You're the guy who says Up the Ra on Cameo. You're the guy who did that beautiful rendition of Sean South of Gary Owen on Cameo. I mean, the Nigel Farage thing is very, very interesting. And what you had then afterwards was Andy Murray quote tweeting that video. I'm sure you all saw this, where he said, please record the awkward moment when you tell them you spent most of your career campaigning to have people from Eastern Europe deported, which Farage then responded to via quote tweet himself, saying, Dear Andy, you clearly don't understand politics or the Brexit campaign, but are filled with prejudice. Concentrate on the tennis. Concentrate on the tennis is an interesting one from Nigel Farage. Stay in your lane, Andy. Follow my example, Andy. This week, Andy, I stayed in my lane by flying to Belgrade and immersing myself in the universe of a professional tennis player in order to give myself a pretty good soapbox for my political views. I am a leech, but I will criticise anybody else who enjoys the art of blood-sucking. So either way, it doesn't matter. This has been a massive success story of a week for Nigel Farage, and that was an easy win to hand out. Our first loser this morning is the Park Hotel in Melbourne, which has taken one hell of a hit over the past few days. This was a hotel that I guess a week ago most people had never heard of, a place that was distinctly average and relatively inoffensive. Here's the hotel's description on TripAdvisor. The Park Hotel Melbourne is the perfect choice for business and leisure accommodation, functions, meetings and events. Enjoy views across Lincoln Square Gardens and Melbourne's CBD skyline, while perfectly located to enjoy all that Melbourne has to offer. An ideal venue for Melbourne accommodation, your next conference or gala event, and a superb wedding reception location in Melbourne. The Park Hotel Melbourne is sure to delight. And as you can see there, the reviews are excellent. 4.0, 4.5
reviews,
yeah? Excellent, yeah. 720 reviews and an average of 4.0. Not bad at all. And when you've got the world's best tennis player in your hotel, there might be a temptation to suggest that there is no such thing as bad publicity. But I'm going to stick my neck out here and suggest that the surge in publicity may not lead to a surge in popularity for the Park Hotel Melbourne. Here are just three things that I think will impact its appeal to tourists and potentially impact its TripAdvisor ratings over the next little while. Number one, something referred to as a detention centre is probably not the most appealing destination for holidaymakers. Number two, the meal reviews from detainees have included reports of mouldy food and the presence of maggots on food. Very happy breakfast time to everybody with us this morning. And number three, some of the detainees are refugees who've been held in the country for up to 9 years so far as part of their indefinite detention, marking the Park Hotel as a monument of some of the worst elements of Australia's immigration policy. But quite whether the Park Hotel manages to uphold its 4.0 rating on TripAdvisor, time will tell, because at the end of the day, it is a superb wedding reception if they do say so themselves. The next winner, back to the winners, and it's E Entertainment up next. Now, the easy thing to suggest here after this controversy is that Netflix might eventually be the big winner of this saga. But in reality, we all know that the rights to the Djokovic story should go to E Entertainment. We need Keeping Up with the Djokovic's to be made ASAP. Djokovic's mother yesterday suggesting that her son had been tortured is exactly the sort of content we want on the show, while Djokovic's brother is a fine master of the art of the cliffhanger, as demonstrated in yesterday's press conference.
Was he at an event on the 17th of December? Belgrade.
Okay, so this press conference is adjourned at the moment. Thank you for attention.
The real star of keeping up to Djokovic's, though, would be Novak Djokovic's father, who has become a superstar over the last week, comparing his son to water, comparing his son to Jesus, comparing his son to Spartacus, and then calling on Queen Elizabeth to intervene and protect Novak's human rights. He is Kris Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, Kim Kardashian, all wrapped up into one soon-to-be massive superstar of reality TV. Make it happen, E! Entertainment. They would be the big winners from this. The next loser is the Serbian National Postal Service, and this is the part of the story that really grinds my gears. We should be talking about what really matters, about what a great job the Serbian National Postal Service did on this stamp. It is a beautiful stamp, and I've always been a big fan of the Serbian National Postal Service. This is coming from an Unpost fan here. But no, instead we're talking about how Novak Djokovic has ruined everything for fans of the Serbian National Postal Service. The stamp was unveiled the day Djokovic tested positive for COVID, and this photo of Djokovic accepting what is a framed version, I think, of the stamp has become it is a pruder film of our generation. That poor guy on the left, the JFK of our generation.
Back and to the left.
To make matters worse then, on top of all of this, the Serbian Postal Service were put under undue pressure by Novak Djokovic, I think it's fair to say, because he replied to that photo on social media saying, "Gratitude for everyone that brought this together. Now Jelena Djokovic and I will take some stamps home for the kids to write to Santa." Note the date on that tweet. A December 17 letter to Santa is outrageously risky behaviour. That is way riskier than not getting yourself vaccinated. Did the Serbian Postal Service manage to get that thing delivered on time is a question I have. Or did the kids in the Djokovic household not get a visit from the big man? I would like to see these questions answered, and I think they need to be answered with urgency. But the National Service of Post in Serbia, you are a loser, unfortunately, from the last week. The next winner is a household name of sport. She is no longer the CEO of Australian Open COVID infamy. The last 12 months have been a whirlwind, so you might have forgotten the name Vanessa Sierra. She is a winner. Let me remind you that Vanessa Sierra is the now ex-girlfriend of Australian tennis player Bernard Tomic, and she was, of course, the star of the COVID saga of January 2021 with this truly heartbreaking story of hardship.
This is the worst part of quarantine. I don't wash my own hair. I've never washed my own hair. It's just not something that I do. I normally have hairdressers that do it twice a week for me.
A massive win for her personally, that now Novak Djokovic is more than likely going to go down as the person we all remember from the COVID era in relation to the Australian Open. Now, I'm sure you're all interested in how Sierra's channel has progressed since January last year on YouTube. You can see that she is on hand to give you all the advice you need to invest your entire savings in crypto. Her basic guide there you can see in the thumbnail, which reads, "Quit your job with crypto like I did." So it's fair to say that she has come a long way from not being able to use Head and Shoulders on herself last January. And then finally, our last loser is jovial New Year's sentiment. We all love a bit of jovial New Year's sentiment. We all love texting our entire contacts book at 1 minute past midnight on New Year's Day to wish them health, love and joy for the year ahead. But I regret to inform you that jovial New Year's sentiment has taken quite the battering over the past week or so, because let's not forget Djokovic's 2022 tweet to get this year up and running. "Happy New Year," he said, "wishing you all health, love and joy in every moment, and may you feel love and respect towards all beings on this wonderful planet. I've spent fantastic quality time with loved ones over the break, and today I'm heading down under with an exception permission. Let's go 2022. You can file that straight under images that precede unfortunate events. But anyone of you at home, I guess, who tweeted "New Year, New Me," you are already on track to having a better New Year than Novak Djokovic. You're making a better hack of it than Novak Djokovic is of his New Year's resolution. So congratulations, I guess. You are a winner in all of this as well, if you've had any sort of New Year sentiment in a positive sense.
Oh, and great stuff. The Australian Border Force, by the way, are investigating whether or not Novak Djokovic incorrectly declared that he had not travelled and would not do so for 2 weeks before his flight to Australia. In the latest twist in his visa cancellation saga, the Guardian report this morning, questions have been raised about the declaration completed by an agent for Djokovic, with social media posts, which Eoin has just pointed to, seemingly showing he was in Belgrade on Christmas Day before flying to Australia from Spain on the 4th of January. So perhaps he will be hoisted by his own petard.